What if I told you 9 out of 10 first-time homebuyers have major regrets about their purchase? That's not a typo. A recent study found that 90% of millennial buyers wish they had done things differently. They regret the price they paid, the loan they got, or the house itself. But the person who avoids those regrets, well, that's you. Because in the next 13 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly the 3 biggest pitfalls that create those nightmares, and most importantly, how you can sidestep them completely.
With everything else,
We're
I
not
just don't
talking
see how
about
we can
small
afford a big
mistakes
down
like
payment
choosing
right
the
now.
wrong paint color. We're talking about mistakes that can cost you tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. A single percentage point on a mortgage rate might not sound like much, but on a typical loan, it could mean an extra $94,000 in payments. We're talking about losing your dream home to another buyer because your offer was dead on arrival. And we're talking about the new construction illusion, where the friendly face in the model home actually works for the builder, not for you. Stick with me, and I'll show you how to navigate this minefield and save a fortune. All right, let's talk about the biggest myth. You don't need a 20% down payment to buy a home. This single belief keeps more people renting than almost any other. The reality, according to the National Association of Realtors, the typical first-time homebuyer only puts down 8%. And there are other numerous loan programs for much less. The Federal Housing Authority Administration, FHA, require as little as 3.5% down of the sale price. And if you're a veteran or you're buying in a rural area, the USDA, they only require, 0%. You don't need any money down there. Waiting to save up 20% in a market where prices have really just went up and up recently is like you're running up a down escalator. You're working hard, but you're really not gaining any ground. While you're saving, home prices and interest rates continue to fluctuate. Is it possible you missed your mark? Costing you more money in the long run? And could you have bought with a smaller down payment? I think those are questions you need to ask. Now, what if I told you there was money available to help you with the down payment and your closing cost? I'm not talking about a loan from your parents, although that'd be nice. Sorry, parents. I'm talking about structured financial aid for homeowners. There are actually over 2,400 assistance programs active in the United States today. The average benefit from these programs is around $17,000. And listen to this, because this is the most important part. Nearly 90% of these programs are structured as a second mortgage, and over half of those are actually forgivable after a certain period of time. That means if you stay in the home for a set number of years, the median number of years is 5, the loan is forgiven. It disappears. It's free money. It essentially becomes a grant, and it's free money for buyers. And you don't want to make a catastrophic mistake of just leaving that financial advantage on the table. The last part of this money mistake is your interest rate. Buyers are often so focused on the home's sticker price that they often forget to shop around for the most important price of all, the cost of borrowing money. Failing to compare offers from multiple lenders is a very big mistake. It can cost you a lot of money. Look at the real numbers. On a $400,000 loan, the difference between a 6% interest rate and a 7% interest rate isn't just a little extra cash each month. It's actually an extra $263 every single month. And now over a 30-year period of the life of that loan, that adds up to a whopping $94,000 in extra interest payments that you're going to just hand over to the bank. That's a college fund for a child. It's a luxury car. If you like me, I like luxury cars. I'd be missing that. But it's also, if you're just saving for retirement, it's a significant portion of your retirement savings. It's real money lost simply because you didn't get a second or possibly even a third quote. The second mistake I see all the time is doing things out of order. It's exciting to browse homes on Zillow and go to open houses. I totally get that. It's the fun part. Nobody really wants to sit down and gather all their tax documents, pay stubs, bank statements for the lender. I mean, it's boring. It's tedious. But looking at homes before you have like a real solid mortgage pre-approval letter in your hand is the number one cause of heartbreak in real estate. It's a misstep, a major misstep. You fall in love with the house, you go there, you start imagining yourself inside the house, what your life's going to look like there, and you get your hopes and your dreams kind of up. But then you talk to your lender and you find out you don't qualify for it. Or worse yet, you find a home that you do qualify for. But unfortunately, when you go to present an offer with no pre-approval letter, no substantial means of showing that you're a viable buyer, the sellers just look at you like you're a window shopper, and they're not going to even accept that offer. There's too much on the line for them. They're going to be very cautious. You might think that in a slower market, you hold all the cards, but here's a reality check. Even today, the best homes get multiple offers. And in this market, sellers are more cautious than ever. They're terrified of weak offers. Why? Because if they accept an offer and that person cannot get a loan, they've wasted weeks or even months. All that time, they're still paying a mortgage, they're paying the taxes, insurance, and the maintenance. They're literally losing money on a deal that just fell apart. So when an offer comes in, sellers are going to be looking for two things primarily: the best price and the surest thing. An offer without a pre-approval letter is not a sure thing. It's actually a giant question mark. It tells the seller, I think I can buy your house, but I haven't done my homework. Now compare that to an offer with a rock-solid pre-approval that tells the seller, I can buy your house, I am financially sound, and I'm ready to close. That's what they want to hear. Which offer would you choose? This is exactly how buyers lose the perfect home. Their offer was a gamble before it was ever written. Here's the flip side of that coin, and it's a trap that leads to buyer's remorse. Because many buyers haven't done the proper financial prep work up front, getting fully pre-approved, exploring all the down payment assistance programs, they don't know what they can truly afford. They're operating with an incomplete set of information, so they shop in a lower price range that they might need to, find something that's just good enough, and they buy it. Months later, the regret sets in. They realize the house is too small, the location adds a miserable commute, or it just requires way too much maintenance, more than they had budgeted for. They settled for the okay house because they were completely unaware that the right house, the one that truly fit their needs, was actually within their budget the whole time. Doing things in the right order isn't just about winning a bid, it's actually about making sure that you're bidding on the right house in the first place. Okay, mistake number 3 is critical, especially of those of you dreaming of this brand new, untouched model home. When you walk into that beautiful model home, the person that greets you, the site agent, they're helpful, they're friendly, and extremely knowledgeable. But you must understand this fundamental fact. They work for the builder, period. They have a legal, fiduciary responsibility to get the best deal for their client, and their client is the builder. They are not your agent. They are not your advocate. They are the builder's highly trained salesperson, and their primary job is to sell you that house at the highest possible price with the contract terms that exclusively favor the builder. That sales rep relationship leads directly to the single most dangerous item in a new construction deal, the builder's contract. This is not a standard state-approved real estate contract. It is a custom document written by the builder's team of lawyers for the sole purpose of protecting the builder. It can contain clauses you would never see in a typical resale transaction. I'm talking about things like an escalation clause, which can allow the builder to raise the price on you during construction if their costs go up. They can require unusually high, non-refundable deposits that you lose even if you're still denied financing. They can include vague completion timelines that give them not just months, but sometimes years to finish your home. And they often include clauses that give the builder the right to terminate the contract, but give you no such right. Signing this document without an expert reviewing it on your behalf is like walking into a legal maze blindfolded. So how do you protect yourself? You bring an expert to the table, an accredited buyer's agent or ABR, someone who has specific experience working inside of new construction. And here's the absolute best part. In the vast majority of cases, the builder pays the commission from a separate marketing budget. It typically costs the buyer nothing. An experienced buyer's agent who knows new construction is going to be able to negotiate on your half to get better terms, better closing cost credits, free or discounted upgrades. They're going to be able to help you evaluate the lots, pointing out which ones will have the better resale value down the road. They're going to go ahead and read that 50-page builder contract and flag clauses that are going to be important to know. They're going to insist on an independent home inspection at key phases of construction because, yes, unfortunately, even brand new homes do have some defects. Here's the bottom line. Not using an agent does not save you any money. It just means the builder keeps the commission money in his pocket and you get zero representation. So let's bring it all together. That 90% of buyers who end up with regrets, they're the ones who left money on the table by not understanding their loan options or assistance programs. They're the ones who got their hearts broken by doing things in the wrong order and submitting weak offers. And they're the ones who walked into a new construction deal without any advice in their corner. But that's not going to be you. You're going to do the right loan, and you're going to find every dollar of assistance that you're entitled to. You're going to get the pre-approval first, so when you shop, you're shopping with power and confidence. And if you're buying new, you're going to have that expert represent your interest every single step of the way. You're going to be in the 10% who buy smart. If this was helpful and you learned something valuable today, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. It tells YouTube that this is good information and really helps a new channel like this one grow. And make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video where we're going to do a deep dive and break down how to read a closing disclosure line by line so there's no surprises at the closing table. And most importantly, I really want to hear from you. What's your single biggest fear or question about buying your first home? Drop it in the comments below. I read them all, and I really want to help you buy smart. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Real estate is complex, and who you hire matters. As an accredited buyer's rep and waterfront specialist, I have training to protect your interest. Click here to see my latest market guide and subscribe for expert advice on Sarasota living.